What up, it's your boy Notorious Mix back again with another video, and today we are doing the NRL match preview and predictions for round 13. Now, we're just going to get into this video quickly, nothing about last week and anything else. Let's just do it. We're going to start off with the South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the Newcastle Knights. I think when looking at this match, Newcastle Knights are on a fantastic winning run, whereas the Rabbitohs are in pretty good form, but they did suffer a loss to Parramatta in their last match. Obviously, that match was without 4 players due to state of origin selections, but look, I think this game, for the Rabbitohs, they do get their origin stars back, but Adam Reynolds will not be playing this match. Adam Dwayhe is playing in halfback instead, next to Connor Tracy at 5'8". Cody Walker will not be playing. This is the first game, so lucky me. When's the last game on then? Is that a Monday? Yeah, it is a Monday game. So, in terms of what I think with this match, I think that actually I'm going to go with Newcastle winning this match. I think that, after their last game against the Roosters where they put in the fantastic performance I reckon they got a bit more to back it up. And given the criticism that the Origin halves are coming, especially Nathan Cleary, I think that Mitchell Pearce will be looking for another big performance to put his hat in the ring for possible Game 2 selection. I'm going to go with the Newcastle Knights, 32 to the Rabbitohs 18. Next match would be the West Tigers versus the Canberra Raiders here. And this will be at Bankwest Stadium. The West Tigers are the home team. I think this game, again, there's not an awful lot in it. I don't believe Jack Wyden is... No, I think... Is Jack Wyden playing for the Raiders? I don't believe so. No, he is. They do get all of their origin stars back, the Raiders. Tigers get their origin star and back. I think that this game will be pretty tough. And the Tigers are actually being tipped the favourites, but I do feel that... And Canberra's form hasn't been great lately, to be honest with you. But I feel like Jack Wyden is another player who could easily come under criticism for Origin after that pass to Gagai, and he could be a big influence on this game, whether he absolutely capitulates and plays poor or he puts in a massive performance. So there could be a lot in that. But I feel like, to be honest with you, he might not, Jack Wyden. I think that he may not put in a big performance, but I don't know who to go with here. This is a hard game. Let's see how we're going in the more in-depth stats-wise. Season. Oh, man. Raiders are the better both attacking and defensive side. The completion rate is better with the Raiders. Tigers are the better tacklers, better play the ball. Raiders have a better record here. It's a hard game to call, man. I think I'm going to go with... Do I go Raiders or Tigers? I don't know if the Tigers got a big game, big performance in them here. I mean, they could be a chance at the top 8, though, if you really think about it. This could be a big game in the context of that. I think that I'm going to go for the West Tigers. 10 to the Raiders 16. Okay. Next game, Warriors versus the Storm. Look, Cameron Smith, Billy Slater, Cooper Cronk. All of them, some of them, none of them. Craig Bellamy is one of the best coaches today ever in the NRL. He is really a top coach, a player, a man-to-man coach, in general coach, and he knows how to get his teams to perform. So surely Melbourne should really be winning this match. I think that they'll just come in with a strong performance. I mean, it is Warriors at Mount Smart, and they could be one of those sleeper teams that do cause problems, but you just think Melbourne have too much in the locker here. I think that, the likes of Adokar and Munster will come back playing strong. Felice Kafusi, Will Chambers, I would expect him to have a big game. I think that Melbourne Storm will come back strong, and they're going to come back professional. Even their origin stars, who would be feeling probably fatigued, but they're other professionals in terms of their attitude and everything, Melbourne, and they do know how to grind out those hard games. So, but I don't think if this is like a 4-point sort of margin, I think the Warriors may have too much for Melbourne, given that their origin stars fatigue and everything. But I think Melbourne will just manage to keep the margin manageable and get the win. I'm going to go with Melbourne winning 24-14 over the Warriors. Sharks versus Eels at PointsBet Stadium. Sharks being touted pretty heavy favourites here, $1.50 to Eels $2.55 by Sportsbet. But I do think that Parramatta are not being given enough credit here. They beat the Rabbitohs last week. Yes, they were missing Walker, Gagai, Cook, and Cameron Murray. But still, you still have the likes of, Adam Reynolds, the Burgess brothers. They have some very good players in their side, and Parramatta did knock them off, so credit for that. And I just get the feeling that 2 in a row, Parramatta may just pull their finger out and show up again. I think this will just be one of those weeks where they show up, and when they show up, they're a very hard side to beat. So, based on that, I'm going to go for a Parramatta win 22-12 over the Sharks. Excuse me. The North Queensland Cowboys up against the Manly Sea Eagles next at 1300 Smile Stadium. Tom Trbojevic will be back at fullback for Manly. The origin stars are emergency, them being Daly Cherry Evans and Jake Trbojevic. This could hinge a lot on what condition Tom Trbojevic is in, whether he's fully fit, whether he's not yet 100%. Looking at, they're getting a lot of players coming back from injury, but still some out. So, and Cowboys, is Michael Morgan coming back? Let's see. Yeah, Maguire's coming back. Morgan is actually going fullback for North Queensland. That's an interesting shout. Asiata and Jay Clifford. Okay. So, new halves combination for North Queensland coming in. That could also be a very interesting part of the game to focus on. I think, and Manly as well, are going with Kane Elgey and Cade Cust in the halves. So, different combination there. But I think Cade Elgey, we know that he has more experience and he's a natural halfback. So, I think that in the halves, Manly just may have the edge. But you know that for North Queensland, Michael Morgan will be coming in to combine in terms of the ball playing, because he's going to have to, I think. And if they do have a decent game, decent performance should get North Queensland over the line. The likes of Tamalolo will be big and kind of setting that platform for them to go forward from. And I think that the Cowboys may just sneak out a win here. I'm going to go North Queensland 22-18 victors over the Manly Sea Eagles. Game number 6 of the round. The Brisbane Broncos up at Suncorp Stadium versus the Gold Coast Titans. Brisbane Broncos should be pretty strong favourites to win this game. A team going for top 8, currently in 9th, up against a struggling Titans side in 15th. Ash Taylor, rumours about him being granted leave and things like that, problems, which could be another thing for the Titans. Just not a lot of real positive sort of things going on at the moment. And as a result, I just think that, and I just think that not North Queensland, Brisbane have an edge here, and I think I'm going to go with them to get a pretty solid victory, 32-10 over the Titans. The Penrith Panthers up against the Sydney Roosters, 14th versus 3rd. The Roosters do have Cooper Cronk returning, which is their main big in, along with Tedavano, another big return for them. And Luke Keary will be out, so hit for them. But looking at the team that they got to bring, it looks pretty good. No Nathan Cleary for the Panthers. He's just simply an emergency player that could be picked late. It'll be Luai and James Maloney in the halves. Did Penrith win last week? I think they did. Yeah, they did. That was their second in a row. They beat Manly 15-12. With Roosters' form and the fact that Panthers are on a 2-match winning streak, they may have half a chance. You never know. I mean, I think that Latrell Mitchell's form has not been great lately, to be honest with you. But then again, Panthers injury concerns. You have the likes of Isaiah Yeo playing in the centres. I mean, Manu or Mitchell could really do a job there. I think that Roosters going out the back, they'll just have a few too many points. So I'm going to go Roosters 34 to the Panthers 12-14. As soon as I seen that thing in the centres, I just have a feeling the Roosters are going to be able to play around them, and through playing footy, they'll just score points. So 34-14. Sydney Roosters win. And the final game of the round will be at ANZ Stadium. The Canterbury Bulldogs up against the St. George Dragons. Now, in terms of these teams, a whole host of changes for St. George Dragons here. Corey Norman is coming back. Jeremy Lattimore coming back. Matt Duffy coming back. Very big, but they will be missing Laffey and James Graham. For the Bulldogs, Michael Nisha will be coming back in. Lachlan Lewis, Corey Hawiriran, I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. I've heard of him. Harawiranara and Dylan Napa. So, big returns. And looking at the two teams lining up against each other, could be an interesting game. I think that I'm leaning the Saints' way if the likes of, Corey Norman can return strong. He could be a big addition. Ben Hunt, not in the team. Obviously playing, emergency sort of reserve, along with Frizzell. Lachlan Lewis, Harry Nisha, and Napa, all four of the ins for the Bulldogs, playing now as, emergency options. I mean, losing. Wow. And for the Dragons, I know Paul Vaughan, unfortunately, either. So, some big... I think the Dragons forwards, they're missing a bit, and the likes of Jackson and Tolman could really put in the performance. And I think that the Bulldogs should have a half-decent game here. They actually have a chance of winning this. What would I go for a prediction? I'm going to go... Dragons win 18-16. I think it'll be a close game that the Dragons just edge here because the Bulldogs will test them. So, that's my predictions for this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, leave your predictions below, and I'll be catching you for the next round next week.